Hi, my name is Dana Albalawi. I'm a professional makeup artist and hairstylist from Russia and also do a little bit of photography. In today's video, I'm not going to do a makeup look on myself because I wanted to show you how I work with deep set and a little bit droopy eyes. And that's why I asked a gorgeous, beautiful young lady, Svetlana, to be my model today. In this video, I'm going to talk how I work with deep set eyes with droopy or downturned, which way you prefer, eyes. I'm also going to make a review on a new BB cream in my collection. This BB cream is by Erborian, the new one. I will also speak about one of my most favorite palettes of all time, the Viseart palette, the neutral mattes one. And you've also asked to make a makeup look with the Tom Ford Honeymoon palette, so I also included this palette in this makeup look, so let's start the video. I'm starting with a clean face, and first I apply toner with a cotton pad to make sure that the skin is clean and to normalize the pH level. My next step is usually to add hydration to the skin, and I really love this hyaluronic essence by Limoni. And I apply it with my fingers, which help me to truly feel the skin with my fingertips, understand what the skin needs at the moment, whether it needs more hydration or maybe a little bit of exfoliation. I just touch everything and see what to add next. So at this point, the skin is perfect and this hyaluronic essence is all that is needed. Then I add a little bit of eye cream so that to make sure that our skin under the eyes is also hydrated well enough so that the concealer will sit perfectly. We should never forget about the lips. We should also hydrate them well, and this product is one of my top favorite by Clarins. I really recommend it. Recently I bought this BB cream by Erborian, and as the color nude matched the model perfectly, I thought that this was a nice opportunity to talk about this BB cream. So I really like the texture of it, how it sits on the skin. It has a nicer range of colors, and you can see the comparison of the colors as they were in their older variation of this BB cream and the new one. But what I need to say is it has SPF in it, and I am allergic to most of the SPF, and including this BB cream, and I wore it once. It looked fabulous, but after several hours of wear, I started to see that I got this allergic rash, allergic spots, and be careful if you have an allergic reaction to SPF. But otherwise, this BB cream is fabulous. Now it's time for concealer, and this is an Inglot concealer for under eyes, and I really love how it sits on the skin, how it looks on our delicate under eye skin, and I could not recommend it enough. This is in the color 105. It is a very beautiful, gorgeous concealer. To make sure that our eyeshadows look their absolute best, we need to use an eye primer, and this time I'm using Laura Mercier eyeshadow primer in the color Buff. And I'm applying it on the mobile lid, and I'm already creating the shape of our eyeshadow look, and I blend it upwards into the concealer that we already have on our brow bone. And then with a smaller brush I take the same primer and apply it on the lower lid, and I make sure that these two colors, they are connected. And I have already talked about this primer, and it has a very beautiful natural color, and I really like how it looks on the eyelids. Our today's model has downturned eyes, and I want to show you one trick how you can make sure that your eyeshadow will look very lifted, and how you can give yourself a direction how to blend and how to do all the eyeliner and everything. You take a small brush, a powder, and you bake the direction line. It is also very helpful when it comes to the symmetry of the eyeshadow look. Then I take my satin powders and a big fluffy brush, and I apply it under the brow, on the brow bone, and a little bit around the eyes, so that our blending will be flawless. My favorite brush shape for deep set eyes is a flatter, fluffy brush. If you have deep set eyes with a round brush, you have more of a chance getting uneven blending. And a flatter, fluffy brush just gets into the socket and helps with the blending a lot. As you can see, I'm using not a dark color, I'm using like this lighter shade color. It may be a bronzer, a contour, or something like that. And I use it because we already have this amazing bone structure, and if we take a darker color, we will emphasize it too much. The palette I'm using is by Viseart. This is a neutral matte palette. I would say it's their iconic palette. And there is also a meme about it that new makeup artists think that they might need a full collection, a full row of colors, but what they actually need is this palette. And this is so true. The quality of the eyeshadows is just amazing. The colors are great. They blend marvelously. They have this worn suede finish, which is very beautiful on the eyelids. Viseart also released half of the palette for half of the price, so you get all the colors, but the refills are smaller, which is, I think, it's a grab. And I also really love that it's fully matte, so no sparkles get into the matte eyeshadows, which can be very useful, especially if you're working on set. As you can see, I've been working with a little bit darker shade of brown this time. I want to deepen up a little bit our blending, but I still don't want it to be too dark. And I'm balancing here. I want to lift the eye and yet don't make it more deep set. And also apply this darker shade on the lower lid. As you can see, I took the blending in the outer part of the upper lid very high up to the brow to make sure that the outer part of the blending is higher than the inner part of the blending, so we get this lifting effect. I would never recommend you making the outer part of the lower lid too low, or otherwise all our blending will be for nothing and our eyes will look very droopy. You can stop here, but you can also add a little bit of sparkle, and I'm using a very beautiful Tom Ford palette. This is the palette named Honeymoon, and I'm taking this beautiful copper shade and I'm applying it on the outer part of my mobile lid. I think I would not recommend going with a darker color than this, otherwise our eyes may look more deep set. Then I take a lighter color and I'm applying it in the inner part of my mobile lid, and I think that it looks very brightening and very fresh. I want to brighten my inner corner, and for this purpose I take one of the two satin powders that I used for making sure that our blending will be very nice, and I'm applying it mostly on the lower part of my inner corner and a little bit on the upper part. This creates an illusion that our inner corner is a little bit lower, and we need that so that our outer corner will look higher. I really like the medium color between the Maybelline Black and the Maybelline Brown Lasting Drama Gel eyeliners, so I mix them together and I add my favorite beauty mixer by Ava Vodina to make the eyeliner thinner. And then with a small brush I draw the waterline of the upper lash line, so I tightline a little bit, and I want to create a wing, and I use our baking as my guideline to help me to create this wing with a perfect line, and I ask my model to look forward so that I can make sure that the line is looking the way I want it to look. And then again, when my model looks straight forward, I mark where I want the thickness of my liner to be, and then I ask my model to close the eyes and draw through these dots that I made to create the perfect wing. And if I feel that this is not enough, I'll just do some more marking on an open eye and add a little bit of thickness. And in this case, I'm using the eyeliner as one of the ways of lifting the eye and making it less droopy, less downturned. And as you can see, I feel that I need to thicken this liner a little bit more on the outer part of the eye. And now to make sure that my wing is absolutely perfect, I take an angled brush, a little bit of the beauty mixer, and I clean the line a little bit and make it sharper. Now I take a pencil. It should be a medium color pencil, not too light, not too dark, and I apply it on the outer 2/5 of the eye to make the lifting even more visible. After that, with a pencil brush and a little bit of dark brown eyeshadow, I blend the pencil a little bit out so that there are no hard edges. And I also drag a little bit this eyeshadow under our inner highlight. Lashes can make a very big difference, and I put some false individual eyelashes. And to make eyes less downturned, first I apply shorter eyelashes on the outer part, and then I apply longer eyelashes. This will help to lift the eye. And I really like wispy eyelashes, like V-shaped. They give you the base of thickness and wisps of length, and this looks very good on deep set eyes. I clean the makeup look with the concealer and make sure that our baking is no longer visible. And now I want to polish our center of the face to make it super glam, and that's why I take NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealers and I mix two colors together, the Chantilly and Ginger, and I apply them in a very thin layer on the model's face, and this just makes it look so flawless. I also make sure that I go around the nose with my concealer to cancel the redness, and usually this area is a little bit more red. Now it's time for the contouring and sculpting the face, and my method is to look at the face and think, how can I make it more oval? Our model has a prolonged face, and that's why I want to make it shorter. So that's why I applied the contour shade on the chin, and I'm also applying it on the cheekbones, but I make them parallel to the ground a little bit more, so I don't make them diagonal, because this way her face will look longer. As I have already applied all the cream products, now it's time for the powder products, and I'm starting with powdering under the eyes with Laura Mercier powder. This is a very nice under eye powder. After I've done it, I take a regular Laura Mercier powder and powder the rest of the face with a bigger brush. Laura Mercier powder looks very beautiful on the skin, but I don't like to reapply it, so I apply it once, and I don't want to reapply it, or otherwise it won't look that nice. Now it's time for the bronzer, and I'm starting with applying it on the forehead where she might get a natural tan, so where the sun hits her face. And this way I also sculpt her face and make it a little bit more short, so I apply it quite generously to balance out the face. I also applied a little bit on the lower part of the chin because I think that sun might hit this place as well. I also sculpt the cheekbones, a little bit the nose with the powder, and as you can see I'm doing more parallel to the ground strokes, so not diagonal again, everything to sculpt the face perfectly. Now it's time for the blush, and I take this beautiful NARS blush. It has quite some sheen, so I'm not going to use highlighter today. And I take my beautiful fluffy brush. This is one of my favorite brushes by RV Woodner collection, and I apply the blush on the apples of the cheeks. And again, I don't do diagonal strokes. I mostly do the strokes parallel to the ground so that I don't make the face look longer. I'll also add a little bit of this blush on the chin and on the forehead so that there are not like just two spots of pink on the face and it looks more natural. I've heard many nice reviews about this brow glue by NYX, and that's why I bought it and I'm testing it out at this point, and it actually works quite nicely. But what I would like to say that the NYX tinted brow pens, like they're markers for the brows, they don't actually work with this brow glue because they change the color due to maybe pH level or something. They turn more orange, so that's why I'm using eyeshadow to emphasize our brow shape. And I'm mixing like two colors by MAC, and I'm just filling the places that I feel that need to be filled, and just a tiny little bit here and there, and I don't think that I need to do that much here. I will only say that don't make your brows too arched and too thin, especially on the outer part of the brow, because this way your brow bone will look more prominent, and we are trying to avoid this when we're dealing with the deep set eyes. I'm adding a little bit of mascara, This is a Chanel mascara, and if you're interested in some Chanel review, this is the video. You can watch it if you want to. And yes, I am applying mascara both on my natural lashes and on the individuals, and this way they will look amazing. They will blend in, they won't be that visible, and you wash your individuals anyway after the day, so why not? Then with a wet wipe I take off the lip balm and scrub the lips a little bit. After that I take a fluffy brush with some residues of concealer that I used before, and I go around my lips to make sure that everything is perfect. And now I'm ready to apply the lip liner and create the shape that I want. I just go around the natural shape of our today's model, and I fill in a little bit our lips. And after that I take this NYX lipstick. It's quite beautiful and it looks very nice on the lips, especially with this exact lip pencil, and I apply it on the lips with a fluffy brush and blend the lip pencil and the lipstick together a little bit. This lipstick has a little bit of a coconut flavor, so if you are not a fan, maybe this is a skip for you. But other than that, it is very long wearing, it doesn't dry your lips out, so maybe you can check it out as well. I want to add a little bit of shine, and I bought this beautiful hydrating vibrant shine lip color in the color Boy by Chanel recently, and that's why I thought maybe I can add a little bit on top with a flat synthetic brush, and I think it turned out to be very beautiful. After that I did the hair, and this is our finished look. I really hope you liked it and you found it helpful. Maybe you saw some tips that you can use in your everyday makeup routine. And please write down in the comments, do you want me to make a series on how I work with different eye shapes and face shapes? And was that interesting for you? Thank you for staying up till the end. And thank you, my gorgeous, beautiful model Svetlana, for coming and spending your time. This was a pleasure.